Good morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan. So today's vlog might be a two-part vlog. I just want to something that happened in the poker world that everyone's talking about, that everyone's in an uproar about, and I want to juxtapose that to another situation. I find it rather ironic when I compare it to another situation. I really don't want to talk about the poker hand itself that much. If you want my deep dive analysis of that, we can do that later. But anyways, it was a cash game. It happened at the Hustler Casino. I believe it's in LA. It was streaming live on YouTube. The hand was being played by Gerald Edelstein, which is a world-renowned, world-class cash game player, poker player, and a lady by the name of Robbie Liu, who most consider to be an amateur player. The hand, the total amount of money in this was over $250,000. So basically what happened was, the way this hand played out, Gerald had put her all in for her remaining basically probably $100,000. I don't remember the exact amounts, but anyway, she had about $135,000. All of her money was in on it in the pot. And of course his 135, or there was like around 165 in the pot. Anyways, she made this call. Gerald went all in before the river card was turned over, and she called him with Jack high. She had Jack high, and she called off $130,000 with Jack high. And so I don't want to get too much into the poker end of things. But Gerald, I believe, had 7-8. He was basically on a draw. And so they decided to basically run this hand twice. And Jack high held on both runouts of the board. And when she turned her cards over to show that she had called him with Jack 4 offsuit, this guy looked like he had just seen a ghost. It was just, there's no way in the world anybody calls with Jack high. Of course, that's, I guess, unless they know something that they shouldn't know. So that's sort of where everything just goes crazy in the poker world, because nobody calls that Jack high. And they also ran it twice, but she was either cheating or she looked deep into this guy's soul and made a call that Jack high was going to be good enough. So a lot of people think she cheated. There's actually been one YouTube vlogger did like a 12-hour real-time analysis of that poker session. I watched a show of YouTube vlog last night. They did a live stream that was about 4 hours long, and someone has actually gone through the hands that she had played, and they've basically grafted them all out to, what she played, her bet sizing. They're looking at this thing. This is going to be looked at more closely than a colonoscopy. They'll be bringing up probably live streams that she did a year ago. Hustler Casino, because, they're sort of in the middle of it, to me, indirectly. They really had nothing to do with it other than they have the studio or the whatever, they have the setup. They'll be going through all of their cameras. They're going to be looking for anything. They're going to look at their card reading system. They're going to go through all of their computer hardware and software. They'll probably be putting their employees that help run the show through lie detector tests to see if somehow they were, sending her information. They're going to just go over this and over this and over this till they come up with an answer that they're pretty certain of, whether she cheated or not. Hours and hours are going to be spent online analyzing this stuff. And it just sort of occurred to me, I started thinking to myself, I started calling them Jack High deniers. And thinking, wouldn't it be, and they're going to have like independent people kind of looking at this. Wouldn't it have been interesting if they would have done that for another situation that happened in 2020? Now, we're talking about the poker world here, and this is the links they're going through to make sure that everything was on the up and up, and if it wasn't, heads are going to roll. People's reputations are going to be destroyed. They'll never be able to play a poker game again. They will be persona non grata in live streams. They'll be heckled if they go to tournaments. I've seen it happen to Chris Ferguson when I was out at the World Series of Poker, and was that 2017, 2018? He was heckled. All he's doing is trying to play poker. So, reputations will be destroyed with this. Should they be wrong? You take the wrong side of the issue on this. But I was just curious. There was like a certain... I can't quite remember the exact event, but it happened back in 2020. It was in November of 2020. There was something that occurred around, I think, around maybe the 5th or 6th or 7th of November. And when the results were tabulated, a lot of people really didn't believe the outcome of this. I can't quite think about what the hell that was. Slips my mind what happened on that day. But somebody won this thing, and it was hard for half the people of this country to believe that one person lost. And as a matter of fact, the person that won got, more things, the most in history, and how they couldn't believe that this person, God, I wish I could remember what the hell that was. But he got a whole bunch of things that people find hard to believe. And then, like I said, there was like half the country said, well, we don't believe that this person won. Our person should have won. And so rather than people going, well, hey, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at all of our hardware and all of our software, and we'll bring in some independent investigators to look at this. we'll go through this with a fine-tooth comb, and in the end, we'll get to the bottom of it. You may not like the answer that we give you, but we'll get to the bottom of it, and we'll be quite certain that either this person did win this thing, or the person that lost was actually correct and they had actually won. There's been more time and effort put into this one hand of poker than that really big thing that happened in 2020 in like November 6th. I find it rather interesting that we put, a lot of people put a lot more energy into that hand of poker than they did about how the country was going to be governed. How not everyone on both sides is maybe not demanding a investigation, but is sitting back and saying, okay, I have my opinion on it, but I'll let them run through all the investigations, let them look through all the tapes, let them look through all the hardware and all the software. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's really figure it out. I find it amazing that the degenerate world of poker and all the unscrupulous are as scrupulous. All the nefarious events and people and scams that take place, when something bad happens that really affects the entire poker world, that they want to get to the bottom of it. The sooner the better. So I think for those certain things that happen, like in November, like every 2 and 4 years, maybe the poker world ought to run those events. There might be some real dirtbags that run it, but you can best damn be sure that no shit's going to go down. And if you think it is, they're going to be on top of it, making sure that the truth does come out. So that's the main vlog. I don't know if I want to bore you with the poker thing, but I don't know, I might some other day. But I will provide a couple links in this vlog so that you can go watch the hand yourself and watch the debauchery and watch the watch Gerald Edelstein's face when she turns her hand over. The only thing I will say, though, one of the funniest things that was said, one of the comments when they were talking about it, because he was so dismayed, was, she said, I thought you might have had ace high. And he says, so you thought I had ace high, so you thought you would call with jack high? So I know there's a lot of you out there that don't play poker, so I don't want to bore you too much with that, but I just thought it was rather amazing at how serious they're taking this shit. But the other stuff, you know, you're just a bunch of jack high deniers out there. So with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.